Hey everybody, Chris with Night of Living Card Games. Today I'm taking a break from Marvel Champions and Earthborn Rangers to get a little Dune Imperium out on my table. Dune Imperium is a game by Direwolf Games. It is a combination of worker placement and deck building. I really enjoy the game. One of the things I enjoy about it, and the reason I can get it out on my table, is it does have a solo mode. It's got kind of an AI system on it, and it works really well. It's not punishingly hard, but it's not so easy that it feels like nothing. When you win, you feel like you won. So I'm not going to do like a full how to play. There are plenty of better videos that I'm going to do on how to play the game, but I will try to do a little bit of it for those not familiar with it. So what you do is you pick a character out of the Dune franchise. I am going to play as Paul Atreides of House Atreides. Each one has a special ability, and then they have a signet ring ability, which comes into play with the cards I'll talk about. So for Paul, I can look at the top card of my deck at any time, and then when I play my signet ring, this green card icon means I get to draw a card. I'm going against two others, and they do not get their special ability, but they do get their signet ring ability. So I'm going against Earl Memnon Thorvald of House Thorvald and Count Ilban Reaches of House Reaches. So, like a deck building game, you start with a set of basic cards. And each of the cards kind of do things. There's two ways you can use them. So over on the left, if you play them, over on the left they have these colors, the green colored shapes. So green, purple, orange. And that applies to different locations on the board. So what you do is you play that card, and then you take one of your agents, these little meeples, and then you put it at the appropriate location. Get these out of the way. You put it at the appropriate location. You get what it tells you each one gives you. And depending on the situation, you can put things in the conflict. You get money, you get spice, you get water, you get cards, things of that nature. So everybody starts out with two agents. So basically they can take two actions a turn. And then for the AI opponents, after 5 rounds, they get a third agent. For me, I have to come up here to the Swordsmaster, and I have to spend 8 coins, or Solari, to get my third agent. Depending on what happens, so we've got 4 factions. We've got the Fremen Warriors, we've got the Bene Gesserits, we've got the Spacers Guild, and we've got the Emperor. And as you do things, as you come to these sections, you gain influence with these factions, and then you get benefits. When you get 2 influence on them, you get a victory point. When you get up to 4 on them, you get a second victory point and the alliance token with them. And all my tokens are these nice acrylic. Most of them are mirrored from Buy the Same Token. And then me, I would get a little added benefit when I hit 4. The AIs don't get that. Now, the interesting thing about these is if I get up here to 4, I get a victory point and the token. If one of the other people get above me, I have to give them the victory token. They get, or the alliance token, they get the victory point, and I lose the victory point. All right, and so we're going to have a conflict each round. It'll tell us, basically, there'll be a battle here. Whoever comes out the winner will get benefits, whoever gets second, etc. So that is the first way these cards are used, by putting your agent in a specific place. And so anything in this kind of light gray box, when you play the card, you activate whatever it says in there. So in this case, this is a signet ring. I would get to go draw a card. The other way you can do it is the reveal step. So instead of playing the card, I can choose to hold on to the card, and then after my actions are done, I get to reveal. And at the bottom of some of the cards, they have these numbers on them. 1, 2, 1. You add up these numbers, and that is how you buy cards up here. Top right all have a cost on it. You can buy cards up to however many points you had in there. Like all deck builders, they go into your discard pile, and then when you run out of your deck, you shuffle it up and bring them in. So you're cycling them in and out. The other icon on the bottom you'll usually see is this red sword. So in the conflict, you bring troops in to the conflict, and they count. A single troop counts as 2 points. So if I had 2 in here, I would have 4 points. Let's say yellow had 1 in there, so they would have 2 points. And then each sword icon that I reveal goes up 1. Again, if I used it to move an agent, I don't get the benefit of either the swords or the points. And then at the end, whoever has the most points, they win the conflict. And then any troops in the conflict go away. Let's see here real quick. Some of the squares do have requirements on them. Not just the color. So like these two up here are the purple circle, but to come to the research station, I need to play a card that has the purple circle and spend 2 water. The Great Flat over here, or no, here's a good one. So the Siege Tabor requires the purple, but it also needs 2 influence with the Fremen to get there. So that's basically it. If it's on the left of the little location, even up here, or even on the side here, it's the requirements, not just spend a card with the icon, but like if I want to get here, I need 6 spice to do it. The things on the right are the benefit you get for moving your agent to that location. So like here, I'd get to draw 3 cards. Here, I get a troop and an intrigue card. Up here, like I said, I'd get my 3rd agent. Here, I'd get 4 troops. Here, I'd get a fold space card. And that is basically about it. The other thing with this is the 3 triangle spaces are spice cards. They have this little worm icon. Every round, at the end of every round, when if there's not a person on one of those spice spaces, you add a spice to it. So now when somebody comes here, they'll get 3 plus however many have built up. Yeah, so we've got the spice token, which is lovely orange and sparkly. The Solari, which is basically the money. And the water. And there are a couple other things that come up that we can go through when it hits. Like I said, I'm not going to go too far into the details, so I'm just going to shuffle my deck. It has been a little while since I played this game, so I might have to run to the rule book every now and then to check something out. Let's see here. I think draws 5 cards. Yep, that's what I thought. So first things first, we start the round. The round starts by flipping over the top card of the conflict deck. So this says skirmish. Some of them will actually be fights at locations. And if you win, you get to put your little flag here. And then you get a benefit anytime somebody goes to that location. All right, so this is just a skirmish. The first place person gets a victory point. Second place person gets a water. The third place gets a spice. I think, let me check on that. I think with 3 players, I don't think the third player gets anything. I think it is just first and second. But let me double check that real quick. Conflict. Resolve combat. The player with the second highest strength gets a second reward. In a 4-player game only, yeah. So unless you've got 4 players, it's just first and second. The interesting thing is if people are tied for the first place item, they both get the second place item. They don't get, and whoever came in second gets nothing. Nobody would get the first place in that. All right, so let's get me my 5 cards and we'll get started here. Oh, and the starting player in a solo game like this or an AI game, it starts to the left of you. So I'm just going in a circle. So Earl Memnon Thorvald will go first. So real quick, just to show you, I've got a convincing argument. All it does is give me points for buying cards. My signet ring, so I can either play it to move to a location and get my signet ring ability, or I can keep it to get the points. Dagger for combat. Seek allies, I get to move to any one of the alliance locations and it will get me a point in there, but then I have to trash this card when I play it. And convincing argument again. So one of the things like seeking allies is if I play it to use this to move one of my agents to that location, I must trash this card. If I don't want to use that right now, if I don't want to trash this card right now, I just don't play it during the play phase. I reveal it, and then I get nothing out of it. I get no points, I get no combat bonus, but the card stays in my deck. All right, so let's get this thing started. So I've got this deck over here, which is effectively the AI. I think it's, what's it called? House Hagrill or Harrell or something. House Haggle. And so you flip the top card of the deck over and do what it tells you. All right, so in this case, it says move to the wealth spot. So I take one of my agents and I move to wealth. He gets the bonus here, so he gets 2 Solari. And his track goes up 1. All right, now it is my turn. Let's see here. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to play Seek Allies. So I am going to take one of my agents and I'm going to move it over into still suits here. So I get to move up the reputation track by 1 and I get a water. The other thing is some of the icons, I'm not sure how well it shows up on the camera, have a little, in the bottom right corner, have a little cross swords icon. That means conflict. When you get a conflict, and you get troops, you can choose to either move them into the conflict or move them into your garrison. And when you get a conflict icon, regardless of whether you get troops or not, you can move up to 2 of your troops from your garrison into the conflict. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move 2 of my guys up there. And now this card must be trashed, so I'm just going to put it off to the side. And my turn is done. So now we get to Count Ilben Ricci. He goes to Secrets. All right, he goes up 1 there, and he gets an Intrigue card. So Intrigue cards are things that can do, like this one is just gain a reputation in Bene Gesserit. Some impact combat, some do other things. For the 2 AI characters, what they do is they just hold on to them, and then when they get 3 of the cards, they just spend them to get a victory point. So what it is that they get 3 intrigue cards, they spend them immediately to get a victory point. If they get 3 water tokens, they spend them immediately to get a victory point. If they have 7 money, 7 Solari, they spend them immediately to get a victory point. And if they get 7 spice, they spend them immediately to get a victory point. All right, so I am now going to go to use the signet ring. So I'm going to move a character. I am I am going to come here to Haga Basin. So I need the orange icon and I need to spend a water for it. And in doing that, I get 2 spice. And then I get to do my signet ring ability, which is draw a card. And then this is effectively discarded. Technically, it's not discarded. It's just played. So if you were to run out of it. But that is that. So now we are on to Ilbin Reachies. All right, Harvest Spice. Send an agent to the space with the most bonus spice or total spice if tied. If no spaces have bonus spice, reveal another card. So no location has bonus spice, and there can only be one agent at a time, so he couldn't come to my spot. So we reveal another card. Carthag. So we move his to Carthag. He gets a troop, and he deploys them immediately into the conflict. Why does he... Did I forget to do him? Moved it there, then moved there. Yeah, I skipped over him. So this actually should have been him before not here. Silly me. Before I went, he should have gone to Carthag. Still, it wouldn't have made any difference because there was no bonus spice, so I still would have drawn another card. So this is a yellow, not a green. And now it is Ricci's turn. All right, Hall of the Oratory. So he moves right up here, and he gets a troop. However, this is not a conflict spot, so he can only put them in his... He can only put it in his garrison. He can't deploy it to combat. All right, so that is everything. So they don't have any reveal stuff. So we're just going to go start here, and we'll get his combat value. And now I do my reveal. So I reveal 1, 2, so that is a... so I'll figure out my combat. So let's just do that first. So I'm 4. And then I have 5 points to spend on cards. And I have 1 sword icon. So that takes me up to 5. All right, so now I got to look up here to see what do I want for play. Let me look at this 5-coster here. So power play, I can move to any location, and then I get 2 influence instead of 1, but then I have to trash the card. Okay. Now look at this, Fremen. So Spice Hunter, he's a Fremen. That's important. Some of the cards play off of other cards. Cost 2. I can move an agent either to the Fremen or Orange Zone, and if I just reveal it, I get 1 point. 1 sword, and if I have a Fremen bond, which is having this, I get 1 spice. I think I'm going to take him, and then we immediately reveal another card to clear that out. I think I'm going to take this assassination mission. So, cost 1. When revealed, it gives me 1 coin and 1 battle. And then if I can trash this card, some cards let you trash other cards, I get 4 money. Right? And I get an Imperial Spy. And any points that you don't spend, you just lose. They don't carry over anything. So my options right now is I could do a scout for 1 and hope that another 1 card flips. I could Imperial Spy, or I can Arrakis Liaison. I think I'm going to take an Arrakis Liaison. I'm kind of building up the Fremen bond here. And then my turn is done. I'm going to put all those in the discard. Let's take a look at Count Reaches. He has no troops in there, so we don't have to do anything there. So now we are on to combat. Each of the AI, if they're in the combat, they get to flip one of these over and add the swords to it. So there are no swords on this, so his conflict doesn't go up. So now we check the combat. I am winning 5-2, so I get a victory point. And he gets 1 water. And then all these are trashed. We get our tokens back. We pass the first player token clockwise, so I am now first player. We reveal a new conflict. All right, so this is sort through the chaos. Whoever comes in first gets the Mentat, which is basically like for 1 turn, it's a 3rd agent, a 3rd character that you can put down. An intrigue card and 2 money. Second place gets an intrigue card and 2 money. Third place doesn't matter. All right. Now I draw up to 5. I only have 4 cards in my deck because that's right, I drew 1 with my signet, so I get to shuffle these up. And I get my dagger. So I got a dagger. Reconnaissance, which a dagger lets me go to a green location. I get a fight icon. Purple for reconnaissance and 1 point. Dune, the desert planet. Oh, I did forget one thing. I got to put spice on the places that nobody was at, which was the Great Flat and the Imperial Basin. Then I got a diplomacy and a dagger. All right, so my turn. I'm going to play the desert planet to put one of my guys in the Imperial Basin. So I get 1 spice plus this bonus 1. So I'm up to 5 spice now. And because this is a conflict icon, I can choose to deploy troops to the fight. Oh, these are back at 0. And sure, let's do that. I've only got 1 troop, so I can only do 1. So now we move around. Count Reaches. Okay, send an agent to the space with the most bonus spice or total spice of tide. So there's only 1 with a bonus spice, so he moves there. He can ignore this requirement that he needs to spend 2 water, and he gets 4 spice. Now over to Thorvald. Selective breeding. So he moves over to the Bene Gesserits and goes up a track on there. Back to me. I am going to use a dagger. Or no, hang on a second. No. Don't have the money yet. I need another orange card, and that's not going to happen, so... let's see. We're gonna play a purple card. We are going to go up to Carthage, which gives me a troop, which I will deploy right into the battle, and it gives me an intrigue card. Get this out of the way here. So my intrigue card, calculated hire, so it says spend 1 spice, and I get to take the Mentat from its designated space in the Landsrad. So I can play this at any time I want. I can spend a spice to just go grab that Mentat. I am probably not going to do that this turn. All right, that is my turn. So now green. All right, so he goes to Arakeen. And because I didn't go there, I went to Carthage instead, so he gets it. So he, instead of the things on the right, I might have screwed that up the first turn, he just does the things on the left. So he gets a troop that he immediately deploys into there, and they, the rules state for these, they move it as many, up to 2 from their garrison into the conflict anytime they can. He only has 1 in there, so he's only moving 1 in. And then he gets a signet ring, which is gaining a Solari. Right, and now we get Thorvald. The most bonus spice, there aren't any, so we have to draw a new card. Carthage, somebody's already there, specifically me, so he doesn't get to go there. We draw another one. Arakeen, somebody's already there, so he doesn't get to do it. Conspire, so he goes over to the Emperor's spot. He goes up another 1 on the Emperor, which gives him a victory point. And then he gets 2 troops. And again, he cannot, because it doesn't have the conflict icon on the space, he can't deploy those troops. He can only put them in his garrison. All right. I've got no other agents to play, so I am going to reveal. I've got 4 troops in there. I've got 2 daggers, so that gives me 2 extra. And diplomacy of 1, so I can buy 1 card, card costing 1. So I guess I am going to do Scout. Goes in the discard, and then all these go in the discard as well. Right, since they don't do any reveal stuff, we just do combat. So green has got 4 in there. Now we reveal and do the number of swords. No swords. And he is not in the conflict. So I win. So I get the Mentat. So next round, I will have an additional person to use, additional agent to use. I get an intrigue card. Plans within plans. If I have 3 influence or more on 3 faction tracks, I get a victory point. If I have 3 influence or more on 4 faction tracks, I get 2 victory points. This is endgame, so this comes in at the end. So I don't think I mentioned, so on the victory track, whoever gets to 10 first, you finish. When you get to 10, you finish that round, and then you add anything up. And if, like with these end games, if somebody shoots ahead of that person, then they win. All right, so now green comes in second, so he gets a second intrigue card, and he gets 2 Solari. So he's up to 3 Solari, and now, so that's combat, so we clear these out, go back to 0. The makers, so now, remember, put spice on any unoccupied triangle location. And now we recall. All right, start of the turn, we reveal the new conflict. It is the Siege of Arakeen, or Arakeen. So, Arakeen is up here. Whoever wins this conflict gets a victory point and gets to put their flag there. And what that means, oh, I'm blocking that. And what that means is from that point on, anytime somebody places somebody there, whoever's flag is here gets 1 Solari. All right, so we passed the first player, so that's now over to the Ricci. I get to draw 5. All right, and now Ricci goes first. Go to the space with the most spice, so that is here. He gets 3 spice. So he gets this and 2 more, so he is up to 6 in total. So the larger spice tokens are 5, same as Solari. So he is 1 away from turning it in and getting a getting a victory point. And I would point out, I don't think this has come up before. If so, I screwed up before. But this is considered a conflict. So if he had any troops in his garrison, he would deploy to the maximum to 2. All right, so now Thorvald. He goes to Hardy Warriors. So he goes up with the Fremen 1. He gets 2 troops, and this is a conflict. So he deploys them into the troops, and he pulls the maximum out of his garrison, which is 2. So he is looking pretty good at this one. And now I get to go. So I'm going to play Dune the Desert Planet to move to a orange spot. I'm going to come up here to sell Melange because I want some money. And so I've got 5 right now. I'm going to spend 3 spice to get myself 8 Solari. So I've got a total of 9 Solari now. And that is my turn. All right, so Ricci's goes, and he goes to selective breeding. And he goes up another, so he gets a victory point. So he is on the board as well. Thorvald, fold space, so he comes up here and goes up 1 with the spacing guild. My turn. I'm going to play the signet ring. So I'm going to go to a green spot, and I'm going to use the Mentat to do that. I'm going to come up to the swordsman, and I'm going to spend 8 Solari to get my 3rd agent out. And he's mine right now. So, and I get to draw a card. That card is Convincing Argument. All right. Ricci's has nothing left to do. He's done. Thorvald has nothing else to do. I still have 2 guys, so I've got a lot I can still do. I think I'm going to play a Spice Hunter to go put a guy on still suits. So I get a water. And I get a reputation, which gives me a victory point. Oh, you know, I never actually refilled this deck. It is gene manipulation. All right, so that is that. They still have nothing to do, so I have 1 more thing I can do if I want. I don't have to if I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to use my Arrakis Liaison to put my guy I'm going to put it at Carthag. So I get a troop, and I'm going to deploy him right to the conflict, and I get an intrigue card, which is tiebreaker. I can either use it in combat to get 2 extra swords, or in the end game, I can use it to get. I can turn it in for 10 spice, and obviously spice means something. The various resources mean something at the end of the game. All right, that is my turn. And so they're done, so the reveal for me. So let's take care of the combat here. So he's got no troops in combat, so nothing there. Thorvald has 4, so he's at 8. And he gets to flip one of these over to add, oh my goodness, 6. Thorvald really wanted Arakeen, so he's at 14. All right, I am at a whopping 2. And now I do a reveal, get a convincing argument for 2 points. And then my assassination mission, I get a Solari and 1. So let me... So I get to do 2 points here. I guess I'll take the Imperial Spy. Refill it with a Guild Administrator. Okay, and now we figure out combat. He clearly wins. So he gets a victory point. So he's up to 2 victory points with me. He gets to put his flag at Arakeen. So now anytime anybody goes to Arakeen, even him, he gets a money. I myself get 4 Solari. So we are at 6 Solari. And then the troops are eliminated. We put this back, and now we put spice at the locations that nobody was at. We put the Mentat back to where he was. We retrieve all our agents. So now, at least for a turn, I've got the advantage. All right. Thorvald becomes the first player, and now we get the Siege of Carthage. So Carthage's on the table. Again, winner gets a victory point and puts their flag there. Second place gets an intrigue card and a spice. Now I draw up to 5 cards. There's only 1 in my hand. Convincing argument. So what'll happen, the way I'm playing, there's 3 difficulty levels when you're playing solo. Mercenary, which is the novice level. The Sardaukar, which is the veteran. And the Mentat, which is the expert. I'm just playing on novice. So what that means is on the 5th turn, when I flip this one over, they get their third agent, and the rest of the game they get their agent. So I've got 1 turn of having an advantage on them. Okay, so let's start up. Yellow, they go to fold space. And they go up 1, which gives them a victory point. My turn. I am... Let's see. I need troops. So I am going to... use my Spice Hunter to put a guy onto Hardy Warriors. I need to spend a water to do that. That goes up in influence with the Fremen, and I get 2 troops, and this is a conflict zone, so I can deploy them right in. Reaches. Rally troops. He puts his guy up here, and he gets 4 troops, but he is not in a conflict zone, so he cannot deploy them at the moment. Back over to Thorvald. He goes to Still Suits, which is open. So he goes up another victory point, and he doesn't get the water or anything like that. All right, my turn. I am going to use a dagger to put my guy up in the High Council. So that cost me 5 Solari. And I get to put my little token on one of the 4 seats. What that means is that every turn, I get 2 extra points to spend on cards. Right now, Ricci's rally troops is already there. Conspire. So he moves over here. He goes up 1 with the Emperor, and he gets 2 more troops. Luckily, again, it's not a conflict zone, so he can't deploy anybody. I have 1 more. And I am not going to play him. I'm going to choose to reveal, effectively. So instead of playing my 3rd, because the only card I have that would send him someplace, and I want this point rather than get somebody out there. So I've got 4 strength in the fight. I get 1 sword and 1 Solari. And then I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. So I've got 5. That is expensive, but I think I may. Yeah, I'm just going to take power play. That is really handy. And we replace it with what is it? Fetterkin Death Commandos. They are Fremen. So, all right. So now we take a look at the other. Nobody else is in the conflict with me, so I don't draw cards for them. So I win the conflict. So I get to put my flag on Carthage, and I get a victory point. So now anytime anybody goes to Carthage, I get a money. Nobody gets 2nd place, and then my troops are defeated. So now we put spice on all the locations where nobody went to, which is all of them. So now the Great Flat has 2 extra. Hagen Basin has 1, and Imperial Basin has 2. So now we retrieve our people. And the 3rd was still on me. And we pass first player. We show the new conflict, which is Guild Bank Raid. Whoever wins it gets 6 money. 2nd place gets 4. And now these guys have 3 people as well. Now I draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I get to go first. I'm going to play Diplomacy to go move one of my guys over to Still Suit. So that gets me a water. I move up the track, which gets me another water. And I get my Alliance token, which gives me a victory point. Again, if anybody goes in front of me on the Fremen track, they get it, and they get the victory point that comes along with this. That is my turn. So, going to the Count. He goes to Harvest Spice. So he goes to the place where there is the most bonus. There's a tie, so it's total. So he comes here, which gives him 5 out of this. And then, because it's a conflict zone, he's going to deploy 2 to the conflict. And now he has more than 7, so he is going to spend 7 immediately. So taking him down to 4 to go up a victory point. All right, Thorvald. He goes to Arakeen. Because he went to Arakeen, he gets a Solari for that. And then he gets a troop, and it is a conflict zone, so he deploys it immediately. And he gets to do his signet ring ability, which is Spice Horde. He gets a spice. My turn. We're going to play my signet ring. We're going to deploy our guy to the Imperial Basin, which gets me 3 spice, which I already had 2, so I'll just give myself a 5. And I get to do my signet ring ability, which is draw a card into a dagger. And it doesn't give me any troops, but if I had any in my garrison, I could deploy them. But I don't. All right. Ilbun. He goes to Still Suits, but I'm already there, so he doesn't get to do it. I'm out of these cards. One thing also about this game is they have a really good app for this, for the solo and the 2-player. The 2-player, you also get an AI opponent, because you need to have at least 3 to really play this. But they have an app that takes care of all that for you. I'm doing the cards because I figured it'd be easier to show on camera. All right, so instead we go to selective breeding. So he goes up 1 with Bene Gesserits. Thorvald, he goes to Hayliner, which gets him an influence and 3 troops. But it is a conflict zone, so he can deploy them all immediately, which he will do. I don't think I'm going to be participating in this raid. All right, my turn. My last guy. Is there anything I care about here? Sure. Since I'm not going into the conflict, I am going to... and I don't have enough money to rally troops, so I'm going to do Dagger to put my last guy in green. I'm going to go to Hall of Oratory. So I get a troop, not in conflict, so it has to stay in my garrison, and I will get 1 additional point when buying cards at the end. Okay, Richi's, he goes to the place where there is the most spice, which is here, so he gets 3 spice, which he's already got 4, so he immediately spends it for a victory point. Thorvald, he goes to Hardy Warriors. Don't like that. He's right on my tail for Fremen. So he gets 2 troops, and because it is a conflict zone, he can deploy them, and he does. There's advanced rules if you go into more advanced ones where they don't just throw everybody into the conflict. If they're far enough ahead, they don't do that. But I'm playing on the easy level, so. And that's usually enough of a challenge. So no more actions for me. I am going to reveal. I've got 1, 2, 3. I don't have anybody in combat, so that doesn't apply. So 3 in cards. Then I get a 4th from Hall of Oratory. 5, 6 from the High Council. So I've got 6 points to spend on cards. I'm going to take this Death Commando for 3. And it's a 5-point Sardaukar Legion. I'm going to get a Guild Banker, I think, for my other. Fill it in with another power play. And that is my turn. Let's go over here. He's got 2 troops in here, so he's got 4 strength. We flip it over. He gets no sword, so he stays at 4. Thorvald is at 2, 4, 6, so he's at 12 to start with. And he gets 1 additional, so he's at 13, so he clearly wins. So he gets 6 Solari. putting him up to 9, and then he immediately spends 7 of it to get a victory point. Richi's gets 4, which was... Oh, no, he got 6, didn't he? He had 3 to start with. So, yeah, that's right. So he's going to get 4, and he had 3 to start with, so that's, again, 7. So he immediately spends it to get a victory point. And all the troops are removed. Strength is set back. We would put spice here, but they're all filled. And now we just bring our people back. Move the first player. And then new conflict is terrible purpose. Whoever wins gets a victory point and gets to trash a card. That is important. Like for me, I've got one of those. When you trash this card, get this benefit. Second place gets a water and a spice. So I get to 1, 2, 3. I get to shuffle and draw 2 more. All right, so green. He goes get spice, but there's no bonus spice, so we draw another one. Rally the troops. So he gets another 4 people in his, but he can't deploy them at the moment. All right, yellow. Goes to wealth and gains an influence with the emperor. My turn. I'm gonna do a scout to move my guy to Carthage, so I get a money. I get a troop, which I'm going to put into the conflict, and I'm going to send my other one in, and I get an intrigue card, which is Poison Snooper. Look at the top card of your deck, draw it or trash it. I can do that at any time. And technically, I can look at the top card of my deck at any time with Paul Atreides. All right, back to green. Goes to secrets, and goes up 1, which means he now has an alliance with the Bene Gesserit and goes up a victory point. Yellow, Hall of Oratory is already full. Steel suits. So he goes up 1. He does not have any troops to deploy, so he is tied. So if he goes up 1 more, he takes that alliance from me. I don't like that, but there is nothing I can do about that at the moment. All right, I'm going to use my Imperial Spy. So I'm going to go to the open Emperor spot, which is Conspire. I also have to spend 5 spice to do this. I go up 1. I get 2 troops, but they're not in the conflict. I get 5 Solari. And I get an intrigue card, which is Demand Respect. When you win a conflict, I get to gain influence in whatever one I want, or I can spend 2 spice to go up 2 influence in whatever one I want. All right, back to green. What do we got here? He is going to Arakeen. All right, so he gets a troop, which is going to go in, and then he's going to deploy 2 more. Yellow gets a Solari for that, and he gets to do a Signet Ring ability, which gives him a Solari as well. Okay. Yellow, last one for him. Harvest Spice, there's no place to go. Into Carthag, I'm already there. Harvest Spice, nothing there. Carthag, already there. Fold Space is there, so he goes to Fold Space, and he gets an alliance with the Spacer Guild. So he is up to 6. Right, mine, last one. I think we're going to have to do this. So we are going to use the Arrakis Liaison to go to a purple spot. I am going to go to Siege Tabor, so that gives me a troop, which I will immediately deploy. And it gives me a water. I can do that because I have 2 influence with the Fremen. All right, so that is it. They can't do anything, so I'll do my reveal. So let me do my troop. So I'm at 6, and this gives me another 1 and a money. This gives me 2. And I get another 2 from the top there. So I'm at 4. I'll take this guild administrator. Ooh, the Reverend Mother Mohayim. And I only have 2 left, so I guess I'm going to take this Arrakis Liaison. And during combat, I'm going to... Well, let me see what he gets first, because I can wait until after he gets it. So, since he's in the conflict, he's got 6 with me. He gets 4, so he's at 10. So, there is no point in me playing that card, because it won't be enough to get it. Darn it. Okay, so he gets the victory point. There's no cards for him to trash. I get a water and a spice. That is unfortunate. And all the troops go away. These come back here. We put spice there, and now we bring back our folks. I don't think I'm doing that good this game. And like I said, so I'm on the novice level, and I don't know where these came from. So no, these should be gone, I think. Even at the novice level, I mean, it's not an easy victory by any stretch of the imagination. I'm usually about a 50% on novice, partially probably because I don't play enough to get it all in a good place, but all right. So, Battle of Carthag again. Now I'm not sure if there's another battle at that location if the flag kicks it out. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I always forget. So now the Battle of Carthag, I receive a defensive bonus, so I deploy 1 troop from my supply to the conflict. So I get a free troop in there. So I think if whoever wins this one, if somebody else wins this one over me, they just boot my flag and they just take it. Whoever gets it gets 2 victory points plus that. So that's kind of important. So let me see here. So let's see, signet ring, dagger, and Dune. All right. Yellow goes first. Hall of the Oratory. Darn, I was going to go there too. Oh no, I wasn't going to go to the Hall of the Oratory. So he gets 1 troop, but is not a conflict, so he does not get to put it into play. My turn. I am going to, let me see what the top card of my deck is. Yep. We're going to do my signet ring ability and take one of my guys and put it at rally the troops. So that cost me 4. I get 4 troops. But it's not a conflict location, so I can't put them into the battle. And my signet ring ability, I get to draw a card, which is a dagger. All right, green. He gets Conspire, so he goes over to the Emperor. Goes up 1, so he gets a victory point. So now he's in the lead, and he gets 2 more troops. But again, it's not a conflict space, so he can't deploy. Yellow. Erkeen. So he puts 1 here. He gets 1 money because his flag is on it. He gets 1 troop that he can deploy right into this, and he can bring anybody in from the garrison up to 2, and he gets to do a signet ability, which is a spice. All right, my turn. I'm going to play Dune the Desert Planet to put my guy in Haga Basin. So I am going to spend a water to do that. And so I get 3 spice, 2 plus the 1 extra. I already have 2, so I'll just take a 5 token. And then because it is a conflict spot, I can deploy up to 2 troops in. I will do that. Green's turn. Harvest spice, so he comes up here. And so he gets 2 spice. And it is a conflict zone, so he is going to deploy 2 troops up as well. I'm going to play diplomacy. Oh, hang on a second. It's yellow's turn. I'm jumping ahead of myself again. Selective breeding. So goes here. Goes up a victory point to tie. Now I'm going to do diplomacy to move over into hardy warriors. That costs me a water to do that. That moves me up 1 there, and it gives me 2 troops to add to the conflict, and I'm going to bring 1 in from the garrison, so I'll have 1 left. Right, now green, last turn, he goes to Erkeen, which is already filled. So he goes to Conspire, which is already filled. Rally Troops, which is already filled. So we shuffle this up. And let's see, Carthag, of course. So he goes to Carthag. I get a money because he went on my spot. He gets a troop, which he immediately deploys. And then he takes 2 others from his garrison to bring them in. Yellow's done. I'm done as well. So let me do my reveal first. So I've got 6 in there, so I'm at 12. I've got 2 daggers, so that takes me up to 14. And then I've got 2 here, plus 2 up there, so I've got 4. Let's see here. Think I'll take the Bene Gesserit's sister. And that is all I can do because nothing costs 1. All right, so green is at 10. I suppose I should do it in order. So yellow is at 4. He would draw first, so 2 swords. 1, 2. Green draws for 1. Okay, so I win the conflict. So I get 2 victory points, 1, 2, and I get to put my flag there, which is already there. And now I'm going to play my intrigue card, Demand Respect. When I win a conflict, I get to go up 1 influence with any group that I want, or I can spend 2 spice to go up 2. And I think I'm going to spend the 2 spice. Let's see here. Where would it make the most sense to do it? I'm going to go to the Emperor. So 1, 2, and that does give me a victory point. So we're tied. All right, second place, green. He gets an intrigue card. So he now has 3 intrigue cards. So he turns that in for a money. Or for a victory point. So now he is at 8. And he gets 3 spice, which takes him up to 5. Okay, that is everything. So we do the makers. So this spot gets a thing. Now we recall everybody. Oh, I forgot to kill all the troops. Reset these. All right, first player passes to me. And our conflict is Battle for the Imperial Basin. Again, whoever wins this gets 2 victory points and their flag on it. Ooh. These are all discarded, so I gotta draw 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, so I'm going to spend the guild bankers to put one of my guys up at Rally the Troops. I have to spend 4 Solari to do that, which I will, so I get 4 troops to add to my garrison. Green. He goes to Hall of Oratory. He gets a troop to add to his garrison, but he can't bring it in. Yellow goes to Harvest Spice. So that gets him 4 spice. What does he got? He's only got 2 right now. So that only takes him to 4 plus 2 is 6. Yep. So he's 1 away from being able to spend that. All right, back to my turn. I am going to do a Spice Hunter to put one of my guys in Hardy Warriors. I need to spend a water to do that. That puts me at the top level, so I cannot lose that alliance with the Fremen to anyone now. That gives me 2 troops who I will immediately deploy, and I will deploy 2 more. Green's turn. He goes to Fold Space, which goes up 1 for him. Yellow. Selective Breeding goes up 1 with the Bene Gesserits. Okay, so I'm trying to look at endgame stuff now at this point. So I've got this in plans within plans. If I can get 3 influence or more on 3 faction tracks, I've got it on 2, so I would just need to get one more. So I guess, what am I most likely to do? I think I'm going to play power play to, well, I can only do this one, so, because it cost me 2 spice to do that. So I get to trash a, so this means I get to trash a card to draw 2 other cards. And so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go find that assassination droid. Here we go, assassination mission. Oh, get that out of the way. So I'm going to trash this card. When it's trashed, I get 4 money. And I get to go up 2, 1. So I get to go up 2 instead of the normal 1. And then I have to trash. So gain 2 influence instead of 1, and then trash this card. So that does give me a victory point, though. So that moves me up to 8. I'm just not going to be able to get that 3rd one, am I? Anyway, that was my turn. So I almost wonder if it would have been better to do wealth instead. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. So I'm gonna take the assassination droid back. I will put the money back, and I'm instead going to put, and I will get my 2 spice back. I'm instead going to put my guy on wealth, which gives me 2 influence instead of 1, which means I have an alliance with the Emperor now. So I get a victory point for that, which I lost a victory point from the Bene Gesserits, and I gained 1 for taking the alliance. And I get 2 troops, which can be added here. Okay. I'm going to look at the top card of my deck. What is it? Yeah, I'm going to wait. All right, so green goes to selective breeding. Goes up 1. Yellow goes to still suits. Means he goes up 1, and then he could deploy 2 troops into the conflict, but he doesn't have any. My turn. Sure. Let's see here. Does it even make sense to do that? Is there anything I can do about this? I'm just trying to figure out, could I get... No, because I would have had... Yeah, I didn't have enough spice to do anything else. So I was just trying to figure out if I could get that in. So, is there? Let me look real quick. I just want to see what the scoring rules are. Endgame. Is there really no benefit to having anything at the end of this thing? Okay, so endgame. First, you may play and resolve any endgame intrigue cards you have. Then, whoever has the most victory points is declared the winner. In the case of a tie, tiebreakers are in order: amount of spice, Solari, water, and garrison troop. Okay, that's where it comes into play. I was wondering because I have the the tiebreaker. I'm like, why would I want 10 spice? It's because it's literally a tiebreaker. All right, so I'm going to just show my cards. So I got 2 points and 4, so I get to. So I've got 4 points to spend on things. I will grab other memory. Why not? Then let me do my thing. I've got 8. Nothing else. They don't have any troops in there, so they don't get to draw cards. So I win. So I get 2 victory points. 1, 2. And I get to put my flag on Imperial Basin. And I think objective. If any player has reached 10 or more victory points, or if the conflict deck is empty, the game ends, and whoever has the most victory points wins. Okay. End game, I get 10 spice. Again, not that it really matters at this point, but. And then I didn't have 3 influence or more with on 3 factions. So that's it. So it looks like I managed to pull this one out. I hope I didn't make any play mistakes, but it has been a while since I played this. This is an absolute wonderful game and a lot of fun to play. I really enjoy the Dune game. I thought it's really well done. They've got a couple expansions for it. Rise of Ix, Immortality, and actually either they just released or they're about to release another one. I forget which it is. But this is a lot of fun. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to play it with other people. Only a handful of times, but it is what it is. As everybody who games knows, finding the time to play games is a rare thing with friends once you get to a certain age. But this is a lot of fun, and the buy the same tokens are so amazing. I mean, look at this first player token. It's huge, it's chunky, it's reflective, it's Dune from like the 84 movie. It is just great. I love this. I love these tokens so much. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'm kind of in a Dune mood, so don't be surprised if you see me put 1 or 2 others on the up on YouTube. Play with some different characters. Maybe I'll pull out the Harkonnens or Harkonnens. I am a devotee of the 1984 David Lynch ones, which they pronounced it Harkonnens. I know the new one is Harkonnens, I think it is. So it's kind of hard to wrap my head around, but we got the next Dune movie coming out soon, so hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you for watching. This was a little bit longer one. Next one maybe might not be, if I put another one of these up, might not be as long, just because maybe I will try not to do as much explaining as I did before. But as always, thank you for watching. You want to see more games, whether it is Dune, Marvel Champions, Earthborn Rangers, Arkham Horror, which I got to get out and figure out how to record, Kinfire Chronicles, or whatever else I get on the table. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, you saw anything I did wrong or screwed up, or any questions on Dune, go ahead and leave a comment below. Otherwise, thank you very much, and everybody have a great night.